Hello everybody, I'm so glad you're able to join us today. We are going to be painting our candy corn with witch hat. So I'm going to wait for you guys to hop on in before we get started. I'm so glad y'all are here. Give me a couple of seconds while I make sure and get the comments hooked up on my end. I have had quite a long week. I don't know about you guys. Hey Debbie, how are you, hun? It's been a couple of weeks since I've been live. I feel like I haven't seen everybody in forever. But Conroe, we live in Conroe, and we went back to school this week, and y'all, it has been crazy. The only word I could really come up with is disaster. So I don't know if anybody else has little ones that went back to school this week. It's been nuts over here. We're just trying to stay afloat at this moment. So I'm kind of glad I've had a little bit of time off from painting live and have been able to focus at home. But at home it's been nuts. It's just been nuts. Hey Debbie, hey Riley, I hope you're doing good, honey. We miss you. Joyce, Debbie, Elmore, thank y'all so much for coming in and hanging out with me. I'm so glad y'all are here. Yeah, so it's been 2 weeks since I've been live, and even then, 2 weeks ago, it was a sneak peek, so I wasn't even painting. So it's been a while since I've painted live. It almost feels like, I don't know, I quit my job for a few weeks or went on vacation. Totally didn't go on vacation. I've still been working. Just haven't been able to go live and paint with you guys. Hey, Amy. I'm so glad you guys are joining me tonight. It is August in Conroe, Texas, which is just north of Houston. So it is nice and toasty out here. I'm sure I'll be sweating here pretty soon. I hope all y'all are enjoying AC inside of your houses and, are sitting nice and comfortably. I paint outside in my shop, so we don't have AC out here. It's nice and hot. So here is what we're gonna work on today. It's actually gonna be a really quick video. This one is a fast pattern. Hi Tammy, hey Crystal, I'm so glad y'all are joining me. So here is our finished piece. I do already have one base coated that we're gonna start working on here in just a second. Once I was getting ready for the live, I realized this one will be like 10 minutes if I don't find something else to kind of fill our time with. So we're going to chit chat for a second. Thank you, Tammy. Tammy says she loves it. It's so cute. Yes, I honestly, I told you guys when we did the sneak peek, I wasn't 100% sold on it. I don't know. I thought I could have used more, but the longer I sat and watched it and looked at it, I was like, yeah, you know what? It looks okay. Looks all right. So we're going to stick with the original pattern, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this one tonight. So I have been getting started. Let's see. We've been doing homeschooling. So not only am I, a business owner, a CNC machinist, a painter, a teacher online with painting, I am now a teacher to a 5th grader inside. And it has been crazy. Absolutely crazy. We have had a tough couple of days, and I'm really hoping the whole virtual learning thing kind of smooths out a little bit. So if there's any teachers watching, I feel for you. Thank you so much for what you're doing, because it's been a madhouse for us over here. So let's see. All right, y'all. I started off with 2 coats of white primed. So I did 2 coats of white, and then I came on here and did my base coating. I added my light yellow to the bottom, my light orange in the middle, and then of course you have light purple, lime green, and black. This pattern's pretty simple and easy. It doesn't take a whole lot. It's only 22 inches tall and 11 inches wide, so it's kind of a smaller piece, and nice and simple. So all we really have to do to it to get it to your finished look is an outline, a shading, an outline, and highlights, and then some polka dots. And that's it. This one's a pretty simple, easy, straightforward pattern. Hey Rachel, I hope you're doing good. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This one, like I said, it's gonna be nice and quick for you guys. This one's not too difficult or time consuming. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm grabbing my shading yellow, and y'all, I've been a lot better. I'm looking at all the papers I got on my table. I've been a lot better all of these other videos that we've been doing recently, and I've had a paint list sitting next to me, and I don't know where my paint list went. So the actual numbers of the paint colors, I don't have on my table tonight. But every listing that we have with all of these guys has the paint colors listed on there, as well as they have tags on the back with the paint colors listed. Now, I kept these behind for my samples, so I don't actually have the tags on the back that show the paint colors on these. So right now I'm using shading yellow. I want to say it's like 14, 15, something like that. But this is shading yellow, and I'm starting off with a flat tip shader. This is a number 12. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start around my perimeter on my yellow. So I kind of load my brush, and then I start carrying that across. Now, I will tell you, my brush is a little bit wet. I happened to pull this brush out of the water because I was working today and painting a ton of gnomes. So I've been using this brush all day, and it's been in the water. So it did start off a little bit wet, and that's why you see that paint gliding so well at the moment. So my brush is a little bit wet. It's a 12 point. And I just kind of come along that perimeter with the corner of my brush that's loaded with the paint. So this is just that shading yellow. Now, that whole time I've been taking that brush, the wide end. Now I'm gonna kind of turn it to my skinny end and do a little swish marks on the inside. All I did with that was turn it long ways and kind of up, down, up, down, up, down, all around with what was left in my brush. I'm not trying to add more. Anytime you're doing the swish marks, you can use what you already have inside of your brush. You don't really have to add more onto it. So there's that yellow shading. I'm washing out my brush right quick so we can do our orange and our purple. This one is, like I said, it's a rather quick pattern. It doesn't have a whole lot to it. It's pretty simple. So it's not one that's gonna take you a whole lot of time. Now, this is shading orange. So shading orange, if 14 is shading yellow, 15 is coral, 16 is light orange, so 17 would be shading orange. My shading orange does have a little bit of water added to it. So it's separated. So I'm just kind of stirring that back together, because anytime I shade or I outline, I always have a little bit of water added to my paint. The reason I do that is so that my brush strokes go longer and they are more smoother. My brush will glide a lot further if the paint has a little bit of water in it and my brush has a little bit of water in it. So anytime you guys see me shading or outlining or highlighting, I'm always adding water to that paint that I already have. Basically, anytime you see me with a cup, it already has water added to it. Kind of a tip and trick. So if you notice that your paint isn't gliding the way you want it to, you're not getting really great long strokes out of it, add a couple of drops of water and see if that helps you. So I just added on that orange shading. Now I could come in here and do, a little bit of highlights. Or highlights with my color. I don't really have to. This one, the smaller that a piece is, the less I tend to add to it, because it really takes away from what I'm trying to get. So I'm gonna put a little bit as far as that shading because my piece is small. Hey Terry, I hope you're doing good, honey. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey Katie, thank you so much for coming in tonight. Let's see, it's Thursday night. I think I'm missing Big Brother. We are Big Brother fans in this household. However, we do like to watch it after it's recorded. So we've been finally back on our favorite summer show here at home. I hope all of you at home are enjoying y'all's night. I've just been, let's see, what have I done? Homeschooling or virtual schooling, that's what we've been up to. And then I've been getting ready for our fall season. So I've actually been working on painted pieces that we will have at the store here in the next couple of weeks for fall. Because I am so behind, very behind on all of my painting stuff. So I've been teaching everybody how to paint online, but then all the customers that are going to be coming to our store this fall and winter season, I don't have much for them. So thank goodness my mom and I both do the yard art for our customers, so at least they'll have something, because I'm really behind. That's okay. It is what it is, you know. So you win some, you lose some type thing. And I'm just behind this year. Hi Dee, I hope you're doing good, hun. All right, y'all, so I am using shading purple. I'm doing the same thing. It's still my shader number 12. I am loading that corner and I am sticking around the perimeter of my piece, adding on some shading to it. I'm not trying to do too much, just a little bit, because this is such a small piece. You gotta be careful. It's really easy to overdo it, and I don't want to overdo it. I just wanna add a little bit. So there you see we got our shading on our yellow, our orange, and our purple. Only thing I have left to do to get shading on is my lime green. And I'm gonna put a little bit of dark green on my lime green, and then I can blow dry this and start to outline and highlight it. So, let me grab this. Y'all, I started cutting out fall trucks today. I sold a ton of fall trucks last year painted that say Happy Fall, y'all. So it's like a profile truck with a little pumpkin in the back of it. Anyway, so I started cutting those today so I can get them painted, you know, and start getting ready for season. Then I was like, why did I not do that pattern in our painters club? I have no idea. I really have no idea. I felt like that one really slipped my mind. And I kind of dropped the ball on the fact that we should have had that one, but we didn't. So y'all forgive me. I'll definitely make sure to have that one next year. All right, so that was just a little bit of, I have lime green as my base and a little bit of dark green. I believe it's number 12. If you don't have a dark green, all you gotta do is add a little bit of either Christmas green or lime green and put a little bit of black in it, and you can create a dark green. So if it's not something you have on hand, no worries, you can always mix it. A lot of our shading colors you can mix yourself. Not all of them, but several of them you definitely can. Shading red you can mix yourself. Navy blue you can mix yourself. Dark green you can mix yourself. Red, orange you can mix yourself. So anytime you find yourself in a position, if you're missing something, I encourage you to see what you have on hand. You can kind of finagle and mix together to create the colors that you're wanting. So as far as my shading goes, all I've done is I added my shading yellow, my shading orange, my shading purple, and then my dark green. That's it. As far as shading goes on this piece, that's done. So let me grab my blow dryer right quick. It's kind of behind my cart and all this other stuff. I'm gonna get this a little bit dry because we're gonna come right back over top of this and do some outlining. Now the good thing is, if you are located here in Houston or Houston area, anytime you're painting at this time of year, your stuff will dry within maybe 10 minutes being outside because it's so hot. So don't feel like you have to blow dry it. Stick it out in the sun, you know, walk away for a minute, go, if you're like me, check laundry, check emails, check something, and by the time you come back, it'll be good to go. That really did not take much. It's already dry. Now, I did want to tell you guys, I am going to, here's my finished one, right? I did outline in black. If you don't care for the black outline, maybe you think it's a little too dark, totally fine. I wanted to show you this. I had some of these left on my shelf from last year, so I just finished these out yesterday. You know, just again, getting ready for fall season. So these I did not outline. The only thing I did was take the shading orange and use it as an outline to kind of break up my colors. So if you don't care for the black outline, totally fine. Take a little bit of shading orange along those lines and it'll help to break it up and keep it nice and crisp. So if what I'm about to do, you don't care for, just do some shading orange, just like I did on this one. You don't always have to do black. Black can be very dark. It's one of those things that sometimes I like black and sometimes I don't, especially when it comes to fall. It's not something I always have an answer that yes, I'm gonna outline in black or no, I'm not. It really varies and it depends on the pattern and it really kind of depends on my mood too. So in this case, I am gonna go ahead and outline in black because my jack-o'-lantern face has so much black. This jack-o'-lantern face, I don't know that y'all can see it, but it's actually engraved. Can you see that? So that engraving, it's actually etched down into my pattern. So when it comes to something like this, I actually take that black paint and put it in there first. Once it dries, I take a foam roller over the whole thing and foam roll it white. And then I take my foam roller and do my orange and you know, it kind of goes on from there because it's actually called V-carve. So that carving is down in here by 1/4 of an inch. Now something like this, it's just etched. So V-carve is when it's deep and down in there. The etching is just simply your lines. So because that one's V-carved, it's a lot harder to have to add the lines onto it. It's easier to leave it without. Because this one's etched, it's easier to add the lines. So again, you know, it's one of those things that I kind of randomly decide as I'm going about doing everything. But in this case, I am gonna go ahead and add black. Now I did, because I went ahead and, because I went ahead and already base coated this one, I did already get a ton of black in here, you know, for my base coating. And I really did that because whenever I do this and I'm on my live, I'm gonna go from outlining to highlighting. And when I do that, I really need my undercoat to be dry. So if I wasn't on a live, I wouldn't have necessarily come in there with that black beforehand. I really could have just done it right now and done it all at the same time. It's just one of those things that you do what works best for you, but don't feel like you have to have the black in there beforehand, because you don't. You could totally fill it in when you're doing this. So right now I'm using my Royal Gold script liner number 4. This is the same script liner you guys always see me use on every piece that I do for all of my outline and highlights. This is just one that I really love. Now, I've also been using a broken in script liner for months, and I think you guys will be happy to know that this one's actually a newer one. Now, you probably can't tell because I've already bent it because I've used it so much, but it is a newer one. So I've been working on breaking in a new one because I know I've told you guys I'm not a fan of breaking in new brushes, but my old one was getting kind of old and raggedy, and it just was time to start to train a new brush. So for me, training a new brush means that I am trying to bend those bristles for myself to lay down in the way that I need it. Not every painter is like that. I'm different. I'm very different. I want my brush to kind of lay down in such a way that every time I touch a piece, that brush is ready to go in the direction I want it to go. Trust me, that's not the way you're supposed to do it, but that's the way I do it. So for me, I'm happy with this brush. I'm happy with the little bend that it has, because every stroke that I make, it takes itself and it helps me to follow along with where I'm wanting it to really go. Newer brushes are harder, they're harder to keep your direction on them. It's kind of like you have to follow your brush. And then when your brush gets a little older, it'll follow you a little bit better than you are following it. I don't know if that really makes any sense, but I think it makes sense in my head at the moment. But I'm taking that black, and all I'm doing at this moment is following these CNC etched lines. So wherever those lines are, I'm kind of filling them in and creating those borders between all of my colors. Those borders are what shows everybody the difference, or shows everybody kind of that break between each color. So that's why you see me outlining right now. Now on this one, I am gonna add some polka dots to here. You don't have to add polka dots, totally don't. There's really no, you know, I've always told you guys, there's no right or wrong. You don't have to, you know, add something that you don't care for. But for me, the hat is a little too plain. Just a little bit too plain. Oh, let's see, I'm behind on comments, but Tammy says that we love Big Brother. Tammy, me too. I am so rooting for Kaser and Janelle. I've been a Big Brother fan for, I don't know, probably a minimum 10 years. And so it's All-Star season this summer, and I was so excited. Last night, we were watching an episode last night, I think from Sunday, and I'm sitting here clapping and cheering. I was just so excited, and Zach and Carly are looking at me like, what are you doing? I was like, y'all have no idea. I've been fans of theirs for so long. I'm just so excited. So Big Brother's our family show. And so we love watching it together. I'm gonna dry this black a little bit because I do need to do highlights, and I need to do polka dots. Luckily, this paint dries really quickly, so it's good news for me. When it comes to the polka dots, I don't necessarily have to do them over top of the shading and the highlighting, or the shading and the outlining, but I prefer them over the top. You see how it's the white polka dots coming over top, the purple and the black? I like the look of that. If you prefer your polka dots to be in the background, you can do them first and then outline second. Me, I prefer them on top. Okay, that is dry enough. I'm trying to see, that one's small. Oh, it's such a hard decision sometimes. Like, what size pouncer? I think I'll stick with this size. Alrighty, y'all, this is my Martha Stewart foam pouncer. I'm using the 1 inch. So just the 1 inch. Missy says, do you have a certain brand paint, or what brand do you sell? We use Clark & Kensington. It is exterior latex paint. Brand does not matter, but we do use paint and primer in one. So because we do use paint and primer in one, you obviously have a thicker coat, and we still do 2 coats as a base prime. So it doesn't matter what kind of exterior paint you use. Really, you know, they're all really comparable. You just want to make sure that it is, number one, exterior. We also use a semi-gloss sheen so that it has the, you know, kind of glossy look to it. So if you're wanting to go for something that we do, you're gonna want semi-gloss sheen, you're gonna want exterior, and then you're also gonna want paint and primer in one. There's a ton of paint brands out there, so don't feel like you have to be tied to any one. Find what works best for you and you know what fits your budget, and then go from there. So let's see, my mom says Missy Collins has a new CNC machine she's trying to learn how to run. Oh, Missy, honey, I run my CNC. In fact, I only cut 4 sheets today, and I say only. I cut 4 sheets, but I also designed those 4 sheets, plus I painted 14 gnomes today. So I say it as if like it's no big deal, because I'm a woman who wears many, many hats. I run our CNC, I design our sheets for our CNC. Let's see, I paint everything that we do. I teach how to paint what we do. I kind of do it all. I'm a jack of all trades. So if you ever need help or assistance, I've become a VCarve pro. I can't say that I know how to use Aspire because I don't. But you know, if you're using VCarve and you need help, honey, send me a message. I've learned so much about it. When we first started, I actually had Zach doing making all of my sheets that we cut, right? I had other people. I had people that I hired, and I had Zach doing it. And then I started to realize I'm a bit too much of a control freak. And I don't like other people making my patterns for me because I felt like the size was off, or you know, you didn't put enough stuff on the sheet and I have wasted material. And as a business owner, wasted material equals wasted dollar signs, you know, so it's not a good thing. So over the years, Zach and I have kind of come to that conclusion that I'm going to design the sheets because I basically get really grumpy when people do it the wrong way. And so, you know, it's been one of those things that I've been totally fine with. It's not been a big deal, but it's also been one more thing on my to-do list. And so in that kind of sense, I'm like, wow, should I have really taken that on? I don't know, but at least it gets done the way I like it done. I'm just a woman who wants it done the way she wants stuff done, you know? I feel like some people can relate to that. So yeah, Missy, you ever need help, honey, you let me know. You contact me. I'm happy to help you. Okay, y'all, look at there. I told y'all this was going to be a really fast and really easy pattern. So there it is. There is my candy corn with a witch hat. All I have to do is add a little bit of highlights and I'm done. I'm just going to wash out this this sponge right quick, because if I don't wash these out, then it'll get stuck inside of my sponge, and that's never a good thing. So I've got a big bucket of water right here, kind of hand washing right quick. Only thing I have to do is add a couple of highlights. We all know that nothing is complete until we have highlights. So this is just my white number 35. It does have water added to it. Again, like I've said, anytime I have anything in a white cup or in these little cups, it always has water added to it. Always, 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 always. That is simply for me to get longer strokes out of it, and for my paint to go a little bit further than I'm wanting, you know, than I'd be traditionally doing. I don't add white if I'm doing, I don't add water when it comes to doing base coating. Base coating, you use straight paint. But when you do shading, outlining, highlighting, I do add a little bit of water. How much water you add is going to depend on the strokes that you're trying to make and how that's working out for you. So if your strokes are not going very far, they're real short and choppy, try to add a little bit of water and see if that helps. Typically it will. You know, if your strokes that you're making look good to you, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about adding any water. The water part is to make it easier for you and not anybody else. So now on my little buckle, I'm going to add just a little tad bit of white And then I'm gonna kind of follow along this buckle on the edges. And just like that, ta-da! Nice and simple, y'all. So easy. Like, it's done, literally finished. I can put my paintbrush up, done. This pattern does not require a whole lot. Again, if you don't care for the black on the outline of the candy corn, totally don't have to. All you need to do is use, this is a different pattern, but use a little bit of your shading orange with a script liner, and that will give you that kind of definition between your layers. So if the black is too dark, just use a little bit of your shading orange on your lines in between layers and call it a day. So this one was done without a black. This one was done with black. You could really do it either way. For me, it's just easier to do the black because I've already got it on the hat and on the jack-o'-lantern part, so it's just simpler. So that's that, y'all. It's nice and simple. It's nice and easy. This pattern does not require very much. You know, honestly, this one, I think I tell you guys this often. Yeah, oh, this is an easy tutorial. This is an easy pattern. But this one really is. So let's see. Missy says she's so excited to get started and so grateful for your help. Anytime, Missy, we totally understand, honey. We are small business, and if we don't work, we don't eat. So I get it. We're here to help. It's about building a community and helping others. It's not just about us. So let's see. Joyce says she likes the black. Great, Joyce. I love that. You know, honestly, it's one of those personal preference kind of things. And so everybody's a little bit different. Everybody's a little bit different. Now, let's see. Misty says, don't kill me for all the questions, but I'm assuming you save the little cups of paint. And do you put them in the fridge to keep them from drying? We do not put them in the fridge, Missy. Let me show you what I do. So my paint cart, this is what I roll around because where I'm sitting right now is only where I do the lives at. I'm gonna kind of show y'all. Boop. That's really that's my workspace over there. This is my live space. So because I do my lives in one place and I do all of my work in another place, I take my little rolly cart around with me. So down here, I think you can see it, is all of my 2-ounce cups. So once I get finished with it, I pop that lid back on. I set it down here because I'm constantly working on other things. Now, don't get me wrong, today I did come here to pick up a couple of them and they were dried out and I just simply threw them away. But like I said earlier, I was working on 14 vampire gnomes today. So when I'm painting, I'm not painting one piece. I'm painting multiple pieces. So if the paint dries out on me, to me it's no big deal because the grand scheme of the amount that I'm doing, you know, it doesn't faze me. But I do re-lid them and I keep them and reuse them the next time I'm needing that color. So, well, yeah, okay, so Mary is saying that, yeah, we just leave the paint cups out on the table. It's so totally right. And then you can also add a little bit of water to the paint to make sure that it doesn't dry out. Same thing with, for instance, you know, I just used that white. So I did just mix that white back together. That lighting is kind of, let me turn it down for a sec. That white lighting is a little bit crazy. But typically when I unlid all of my cups, I show you guys and it's separated. It's completely separated because I have water added to it. So once I put that lid back on, that water is gonna rise to the top and it's going to keep that paint from getting dried out most of the time. Now, once I've unlid, or I don't know how you say that, took my lid off of these several times, you know, yes, it does get to a point where my lid is not going to seal back on there and my paint gets dried out. But at that point, I just kind of chunk it and restart. And that's why I have this bucket that has, you know, extra lids in it or extra cups and lids in it. That way, if I throw a cup away, no big deal. I just grab a new one and I make a new one and I keep on going. So I hope that answers y'all's questions tonight. This pattern was a quick, easy, oh, look, I'm hung up on my blow dryer. This one was a nice, quick, easy one. So it's kind of nice to ease me back into it, y'all, because as I told y'all at the beginning, we've been doing digital school and it's been nuts, absolutely nuts. I'm already losing my mind on digital school. So yeah, you know, I'm kind of glad to be able to breathe a little bit and only have one live this week. But I'm going to see you guys again next week. Let's see. So I'm in August. Let's see. Monday we have the acorn leaf and the leaf with pumpkin with Mary in the Painters Club. And then next Wednesday, I'm doing the sugar skull. And Thursday, I'm doing the free pumpkins barrel. So I will see y'all 2 times next week. And y'all will see my mom Mary 1 time next week. But I'm so glad y'all joined me tonight. Thank you so much for coming. If there was any questions that you guys have, feel free to drop them in the comments and I'll make sure and get back to them. But here is the look at our finished piece. I hope you guys like it. I know we are sold out of these at the store right now, but I did cut more of these today. So give me a couple of days and I'll get them brought to the store. They're not there yet. So if that's something you're wanting, so sorry, I'm sold out, but I'm gonna get some more to you guys soon. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I will see y'all next Wednesday and Thursday, and you guys will see my mom on Monday. So thank y'all. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.